Today, we are taking your questions, so be sure to call in if you're watching us live. The phone number is 615-912-2998. And if you have a question, no matter how crazy or difficult, or you don't even know where to start or begin with it, we more than likely have an answer for you because we have worked with thousands of people over many, many years. We've seen almost every situation that you could think of, and we want to be able to help you. My name is Kimberly Beam Holmes. I'm the CEO here at Marriage Helper, and I'm joined today by a super special guest who some of you will know if you've been a part of the Marriage Helper community for a while. And if not, you are about to have your mind blown. I'm joined by Jared Pratt. Welcome, Jared.
Hey, Kimberly. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Jared's been a part of the team here at Marriage Helper for quite a while.
Yeah, since 2017.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure 2017. So 9 years.
Yeah,
That's
doesn't
not right.
seem like it. Well,
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
8 years,
Yeah.
and has been a coach, has developed and been a huge part of the membership that we have, is a workshop facilitator. He's done a ton of things.
Yeah, I've been just about everywhere.
Just about everywhere. But first also started as someone looking to try and save their marriage.
That is correct. Started as a client.
Started as a client. We're going to get more into that later. But first, we're going to hop into our first caller. We are going to go with Christy from Pennsylvania, who has a question about if she should invite her husband to her birthday next week. Christy, how can we help you today?
Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Jared. How are you
Christy.
guys?
Doing great.
So my birthday is next week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I've been separated from my husband since February. We are living apart. Every time in the last however many months, 7 or 8 months, that I've asked him to do something fun or even just get a cup of coffee or go on a date, he has rejected my request every single time. Now I've been working my pies. I've been, listening to all these, as many videos as I can, and really working on myself. And he has definitely seen a change in me. So overall, our relationship is definitely moving in the right direction. But he still will not accept my offer to hang out.
Has he said why?
No, he used to just flat out say no and give no explanation. And now he'll just be like, oh, well, I'm doing, X, Y, and Z that day. Or he gives me an excuse.
And why are you separated, Christy?
He felt like he was kind of carrying the marriage on his back. I didn't make him or the marriage my priority.
Okay.
And I didn't. There's no affair. He just says that he's been unhappy for 5 years. But last week when I had to meet him at the bank, we had to do something at the bank, just business related stuff. And when we walked out of the bank together, he says, "Are you hungry? Do you want to go grab lunch?" And you could have knocked me over. I was so shocked.
That's a good sign.
So now I'm like, okay, well, every time I ask him to do something, he says no. But last week, for the first time ever, we had lunch and it was him initiating it. So
yeah,
should I ask him to go out knowing that there's a good chance he may say no, and that would really break my heart if he didn't want to go out on my birthday?
For sure.
Yeah,
That's a great
Christy.
question. I'm going to let Jared start. I feel like he's
absolutely.
pouncing at the bit to answer this
chomping
question.
at the bit. Yeah,
Love
definitely
it.
so. Yeah, so Christy, I want to give you 2 things to process. And that is, I'm going to give you 2 things to process, and that is, the primary goal is you want to evoke emotions that he will enjoy, which does not necessarily mean making him happy or laugh or something like that, but making him feel seen, soothed, important to you, comfortable, things like that. The other thing to process is, what is the risk to you and to your relationship if you do the thing? Mm-hmm. So with those 2 things processed, I think that gives you what you need to be able to make this decision for yourself. Of course, we don't want to tell you whether you should do it or not, obviously, because we don't have to live with your consequences. But I think with those two things processed, you can probably get there.
Yeah, Christy, I mean, I would say if you can mentally get to the point where you are okay with, okay, so like, what's the worst that could happen here? He says no. He said no before. And while, yes, that would be difficult to hear, and that's the question, and right? I mean, Jared just said this. If that would be too difficult for you to hear, that it would ruin your entire birthday, that you would ruminate on it, that it's going to set you back when you are seeing these positive results and some positive progress right now, which you should be celebrating, by the way. The fact that he asked you to go to lunch is amazing. That's a huge win. It shows that the efforts that you have been putting in for 8 months as you've been separated, they are beginning to pay off. We just need to pause and say that for a minute. But if that's going to set you back, if he says no now, then maybe the benefit is not worth the consequence. But if you're in an area and a mental state right now where you're saying, you know, worst he can say is no, might as well, then I would encourage you to ask. Again, remembering this is your decision, but I would encourage you to ask, knowing the worst he can say is no, and not make it pushy, not try and make it manipulative, not try and guilt him into it because it's your birthday. But just a simple offer. If he says yes, then amazing. If he says no, you continue to keep doing what you have been doing. I think it's as simple as that. I think there's so many things we can overthink, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think overthinking is the key here. Yeah, just make it as simple as you can.
Right.
And you know what? Hey, if you try it and it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world.
That's right. Yeah. It's not the end of the world.
Yep.
You just keep doing the things that you have been doing that have been working. Great. Well, next we are going to go to Justin from Michigan, who has a question about if there's any hope for his marriage. Justin, how can we help you today?
Hi. So, basically, my question is I'm wondering if my marriage can be fixed or restored in any way. I know it's pretty vague. I can give some context. About a couple weeks ago, I noticed my wife was kind of being distant, so I kind of just let her do her own thing, you know, and then one day I decided to sit down with her and see what was going on. And she didn't want anything to do with it. And I'll admit, I've been pretty pushy, you know, so I was kind of pushing her on, trying to force it out of her. And push comes to shove, that led to an argument. She wanted to go off and have some space so she could process her emotions, I guess. And then I guess that pretty much made me mad, so we ended up getting into a fight. And then after that, she said she wanted a divorce. She wanted nothing to do with me. She didn't want to fix it or anything. So
Justin, are you currently separated or anything like that?
Kind of, yes.
Okay, separated but in the same house, or separated in different houses?
Separated in the same house.
Okay. How much are you interacting every day?
2-3 times a day.
Okay. And the interactions, pretty strained, I imagine?
I'd say so.
Okay. How long ago did you find out about Marriage Helper?
A couple of days ago, actually.
Okay.
I was in a rush.
Yeah.
See if there's anything I can do.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, Justin, I just want to encourage you, man, because there are all kinds of marriages we work with. I mean, we work with literally thousands and thousands and thousands of marriages that are in the same state you're in right now. Now, for you, it's super early days and it's really scary, but I promise you, you're not in uncharted waters here. Take a few extra days and look at like our information about smart contact, for example. Take the time to educate yourself, because I'm telling you that I know it feels like you probably need to like rush and get to a solution right now today, but that's not actually the next right step. The next right step is to understand what to do long term so that you can make real changes in your life.
Yeah.
When you change you also change the relationships that you create. And that's the secret sauce around here. You work on your own pies, and your pies creates your pies makes you a different relationship ingredient, and that is literally how our system works. There's nothing that you don't have to buy the secret for $5,000 to learn the code or whatever.
Right.
There's nothing like that. Work on yourself to change who you are in the relationship, and that's the idea.
Yeah, that's 100% right. And for those of you listening and you're thinking, what is pies?
Yeah.
What is this ingredient? What am I making here? We aren't just talking about delicious pies, but we are talking about the 4 areas of ourselves, the 4 facets of attraction. Actually, it's the 4 areas that our spouse was initially attracted to us. And it's the 4 areas that we can focus on to become the best that we can again, to become the most attractive we can be, not just to bring our spouse back, but to be the best for us. And they stand for physical, intellectual, emotional, and spiritual. When we begin focusing on those things and being our best in those ways, that is what, if anything works to bring your spouse back, this will. Now, here's the other thing. And I hope I don't start overloading people with information and acronyms and things like that, but bear with me. Pies is the beginning of what we call the love path. It's the process of falling in love, staying in love, and falling back in love. When your marriage is in a crisis, you want to know what to do. Just like Justin. He wants to know, my wife, we got in a fight. She wants out. What am I supposed to do now? And it's hard to get clear on exactly what to do. Yes, working on your pies is part of it, but we actually have a 7-step model that we follow at Marriage Helper to help you understand what to do. And the first one is to calm down, because you can't make good decisions when you are overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, all of those things. But then the second step is to get clarity. As Jared was just saying, like, you're trying to solve a problem too quickly, and you're going to solve the wrong problem unless you slow down and actually get clarity on the things that need to change. Now, there's a whole lot more in those 7 steps. There's 5 more steps that I'm not going to talk about right now. But when we realize that we need to slow down so that we can understand what is truly wrong, so that we can actually deal with the true core problems, that is when it unlocks understanding of how to better do the things that we teach at Marriage Helper. And so one of the things that helps with that is our Smart Contact Toolkit. And we're going to talk more about that in just a little bit, but I'm telling you guys, this toolkit is really amazing. I know I'm biased because I was in it and I did part of it. But the reason this even came about is because we see so many people struggle with communication. Just like what Justin says, I pushed her too much.
Yeah.
She wanted to leave. She needed space, but I didn't want her to. I wanted to fix this conversation right now. I wanted to finish it, and ended up being a huge fight. Ended up making things worse than before.
Yeah.
So Smart Contact is our framework of how to approach conversations in order to calm the chaos and truly be able to talk better.
Yeah. I tend to think in metaphor.
I know, I love it. He's so smart.
Smart Contact is like the cast for a broken leg. It is not the thing that heals your leg. It is the protection mechanism so that your leg can heal itself. And that's what Smart Contact does for a marriage. It's not the reason your marriage improves. It protects your marriage from additional damage while you work on your pies. And your pies is the reason your marriage improves. But Smart Contact prevents you from creating more damage. So I'll drop a gauntlet right now. There's a whole bunch of people in the chat, and many of you already know our products and you've used them. And I recognize some of your names, and you've used the Smart Contact Toolkit before. Did it help you improve your situation?
Oh, I love that question.
If so, put it in the chat and let the newbies know
Yeah.
whether we're on the level or not.
That's right. Exactly. We would love for you to be able to share how Smart Contact works. And y'all, Smart Contact Toolkit, you can get this toolkit right now until Saturday for $9. On Saturday, the price goes back up to its original price, which is $149.
Yep.
So if you want to have the Smart Contact Toolkit lifetime access, there's, I think, 11 videos.
Yeah, it's 11 videos.
And they're not short. They are...
Yeah.
They are long,
Yeah.
where we really dive into each of those areas. And so you can get that now, $9, because we know that this is something that is super, super helpful.
Yeah.
So we'll drop that link in the chat as well.
Yeah.
We have Stephen who says Smart Contact is the way, all caps, the way to interact.
Yep. Asher says, absolutely Smart Contact all the way. Olga says, absolutely helped.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of people in there.
Yes. Yeah, get on that deal, people, says Aaron. I
thanks,
agree.
Aaron.
I agree. I feel like this is an absolute no-brainer. But with that, we're going to move on to our next caller. We are going to go to April from Rhode Island, who has a question about her husband. April, how can we help you today?
Hi. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So my question is, I'm separated. My husband moved out in March, married 22 years, and he's having an emotional affair that I found out about a couple months ago. Actually, probably more than that. That's been going on not since we moved out, but since sometime this summer. Either way, I found out by looking at phone records. He doesn't know I know, and my question is, will letting him know push him farther away? Because I've been debating it.
Yeah.
So,
well, April, in your case, because you looked at phone records, I would use caution in telling him, unless you can think of a way to explain to him why you know that doesn't involve revealing how you know. I think he would feel that his privacy has been violated. Something like that. People who are in affairs, they tend to be very defensive, even at the best of times. But especially when you've snooped to learn, when you tell them, it all becomes about the fact that you snooped. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't necessarily think that you shouldn't tell him though, because I think it's generally a better idea if you and he are able to speak openly with each other. But it's possible that just right now it's not the time. What do you think, Kimberly?
Yeah, I would say, again, this is a landmine that has to really, you have to think thoroughly about it. What is your goal? If you were to tell him, what is the goal of telling him? And I know you've said what your fear is. I'm scared of pushing him further away. But what is your goal? What is your reason to tell him? And so that's what we have to figure out. If you're hoping that by telling him he's going to be exposed, he's going to feel maybe guilty, maybe shame about it. I know that's not what you want, an emotion you want someone to feel. But listen, if I were in your situation, some of my reasoning may be, hey, I'm going to tell him because once he knows I know, he's going to feel so guilty, he's going to want to stop it. Or at least it'll be in the open so that we can deal with the issues. But is he going to want to deal with the issues? Or is it just going to continue to lend to a reason for him to want to move further away? And listen, I get it. I am the kind of person, I can't sit on something like that. But sometimes the anxiety is what leads us to do those things. And then the outcome isn't what we wanted it to be. And we ended up making things worse than they had to be. So again, this isn't a prescriptive answer, because we can never give a prescriptive answer. You have to think about, what is your goal? What are you willing to handle or live with? And with that information, what is the best next step for you right now?
Yeah, 100%. And if you ask a different question, my husband's in an emotional affair, what can I do to start restoring things? First thing to do is emotionally make yourself stronger. work your pies so that you can handle some hard situations. And then the second thing is don't make things worse.
Right.
Smart contact.
That's right. That's right.
So I know it kind of can seem like the answer to every question is pies and smart contact, but it really is sort of like that. It's like when you work in IT.
Yeah.
The answer to every question is, have you tried turning it
Have
off
you
and back
turned
on?
it off and on?
But it solves 95% of the problems. So like, why don't we start there?
Right.
You know?
Exactly. And the thing though, Jared, is pies, we get the concept.
Yeah.
Smart contact, we get the concept. It is the implementation of these things
Yes.
on a daily basis in situations like this and others that people come across and say, okay, I know the teachings,
Yes. Yep.
but how does it apply in this exact situation?
100%. Yep.
And all of the nuances of it. And so that's where becoming just a student of this and continuing trial and error, people give up too quick.
They do. Yeah, they do. Everybody is terrible at something before they're good at it.
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
Right.
And it's kind of like golf. Golf is very easy to say. Take that metal stick and knock that ball into that hole over there. It's super easy to say, and then it's terribly difficult to be good at it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard because it requires a whole life change. But
Yeah.
if you practice, you can get good at golf.
That's right.
And so don't give up hope.
Don't give up hope.
Yeah.
There is absolutely always hope. Well, with that, we're going to go to Michael's Motivational Minute. Let's head over to Michael.
Hey friends, this is Michael with your Motivational Minute. We are heading into the last stretch of the year. And so that's why today, on October 1st, I want to challenge you to a 90-day sprint. This isn't about fixing everything overnight, but it's about focusing on what you can control. At Marriage Helper, we call that your pies, your physical, your intellectual, your emotional, and spiritual well-being and health. So here's the challenge. I want you to pick one small specific action from each of those areas and commit to it for the next 90 days. Focus on what you can control with your physical. Move your body, walk, stretch, exercise, intellectual, feed your mind, read, learn, journal. In your emotional well-being, practice gratitude, kindness, and stay calm. Spiritual, pray, reflect, or find a way to reconnect with your faith. Small steps done consistently will create momentum. You can't control your spouse. You can't control your circumstances, but you can choose how you show up for yourself. Imagine ending this year stronger, more confident, and more determined than when you started. That's the power of a 90-day sprint. So what will your next right step be today? Finish this year well, and let's do it together.
Oh, I love it. Michael is so great.
He really is. He's fantastic.
Oh, he's so fantastic. And I love a goal structure. So for the Motivational Minute today, it's October 1st. It's the beginning of the last quarter of the year. And if you want a life hack, here's what you need to know. The best day to start a new habit, routine, or working towards a new goal is the first day of a month. So today's your day. What are the things that you want to focus on? Start doing it now. Today's the best day to do it.
Excellent.
I love
Excellent.
it. We are going to go to another caller. We are now going to go to Lori from Alabama. Lori, how can we help you today? Nope, we're not going to Lori from Alabama. We will go to someone else.
How about we do Brooke from Missouri?
Sounds great. Brooke, how can we help you today?
Hello.
Hi,
So
Brooke.
my question has to do with reconciling after infidelities. So I've heard different things around this. Basically about knowing the truth of what truly happened. And then if you're able to reconcile without fully knowing the truth, or if you need to fully know the truth so you can reconcile.
Okay. What kind of truth are you trying to discover?
So basically, what I would be talking about would be like, was it physical or was it just truly emotional?
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good question to ask. When you ask a question like that, what is his normal reaction?
No, there was nothing physical.
Okay, and you don't believe him?
I don't, for several different reasons.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah.
What are those reasons?
I would say the main one was he asked a lot of weird things and he did a lot of weird things that just didn't really make any sense. And he even failed a lie detector test. So
Why did he have a lie detector test?
We got lie detector tests involved.
yeah, we went to that extent because I truly just could not move forward.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you asked for the lie detector test.
Yeah,
And you had it done independently. And you're aware that lie detector tests are not 100% accurate.
Yes, and that's why I am still in this cycle of,
Okay.
believing, not believing.
Right. You're stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Brooke, here's what I'm going to suggest as a challenge for you. What would it take for you to be able to believe him? Like, what would you have to see? And as you're making your list, it's not to share with him, it's for your own reflection. As you're making your list, every item on the list has to be actionable and measurable, which means it can't just be he makes me feel better or he has a smile when he says it or something like that. It has to be something actionable. Means it means that you can actually tell if it's being done or not, like there are steps to take. And measurable means we can tell if those steps have been done or not. And so things like he has shown, like, I would feel better if he could show me a phone log, or I'd feel better if I had the password, or I'd feel better if I had access to his email, or I'd feel better if he was feeling a certain way, if he would come to me first to talk about his emotions. And once you have your list, the next thing we could do, you probably want to connect with a coach about this, is we make a plan for how you would present your list to him. What items on the list are like really useful and what aren't, and things like that. That's more of the art than the science.
Yeah.
But you have to get away from this nebulous, like, I just don't feel good about this situation. And it's entirely possible, Brooke. I don't know your situation. It's entirely possible that he is lying to you, or maybe he's telling you the truth, but he's telling you just part of a truth and not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Things like that. So it can get messy. Have you ever been to one of our workshops?
Haven't.
You have not been.
I have tried to, just move forward and just be okay, whatever happened, happened.
Yeah.
And just kind of almost forget about it. But
yeah.
Then when I feel like nothing has changed in the relationship,
Yeah.
We're not getting closer, we're not
Sure.
there's no connection being built. Then I'm like, okay, is that because you're still hiding something,
Brooke, can I ask you one question real quick? Has this been an issue in your life before? Has there been something before your marriage, before your husband, that you were betrayed?
I mean, not to this level, no.
Okay. What I'm trying to also see is the aspect here of if you are stuck because you have something from your past that's also triggering this and leading you to not believe him even more than than, you know, I wouldn't say in normal circumstances, because we don't want these to be normal circumstances. But I do think that we have to explore the aspect of this of, if your husband doesn't feel like you will believe him, then is he going to withhold information because he's scared of hurting you? And that's something that we teach in working with couples, is that everyone has a fear point. And that fear point doesn't mean they're a bad person. A lot of times that fear point is because they love you and are trying to protect you from hurting you even more. And, you know, I understand that it hurts more to not know the truth, but there is this fear point that is natural. And so if your husband is worried based on how you have responded to when he's told you the truth in the past, or based on if he knows that there's a sensitive area in your life because of this, then that could be an aspect of it too. And so there's a reframe here as well of not just, he's a liar, he's never going to tell me the truth, which may be the case, but most of the time it's not. Most of the time, if it's true that he's not telling you the truth, what we would say first is it's likely because he's hit a fear point. Now, the other side of this is he is telling you the truth, and he's going through all of these hoops to try and show you he's telling you the truth, like getting the lie detector test and answering the questions. But if you continue to not believe him, at some point he's going to get fed up with that. How long can someone tell someone, I am telling you the truth, and constantly be questioned about it? So I understand that you're looking for the intimacy to be rebuilt. That's part of our 7 steps. The 5th step is build back trust. The 6th step is now reigniting passion and intimacy, because it's hard to be passionate and intimate with someone that you don't trust. So we aren't saying that this isn't important. It's absolutely important. But just as Jared said, we need to understand, you need to understand, what does trust look like for you? Is it, what's the word, like reasonable? And what does your husband actually need to do? And at what point do you just make the decision to trust? Because just like forgiveness is a decision, there kind of comes a point with trust building that trust is a decision too.
Yeah. I will mention also, if you join our membership, or if you come to the workshop, even better, Brooke, even if you come to a solo workshop, if you join membership, you'll get access to the Trust Toolkit, which has maybe 5 hours of teaching content in it that goes through step by step, like the different kinds of trust that exist and how you can build what's called calculative trust, which is when you say, I don't trust you, but I want to, and here's the steps I would take to be able to trust you.
Yeah.
That would be, Brooke, I think probably a next logical step for you is to get educated about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Trust is important, and we know it's important, and it sucks when you're struggling with trusting your spouse, but we have a path to help you rebuild that trust, and we would love to help you. So look into our membership, join it, get Trust Toolkit, start working with a coach, and best yet, I believe if y'all came to a workshop together, it would kickstart this whole thing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And Brooke, don't overlook the fact that you're in reconciliation. I mean, to be in that space, you must have overcome some stuff, and that is worth celebrating. So think about how your life was, maybe 6 months ago or 8 months ago or 10 or something, and then look at how it is now and celebrate the wins, because they do come slowly. But don't forget to do that.
That's good. I absolutely love that. We're going to go to our next caller now. Lori from Alabama is here with us. Lori, how can we help you today?
Hey, I just wanted to say we are so appreciative of you guys. We just went through your workshop, my husband and I.
Awesome.
And yes, we are just coming back from it, actually. So
you came this past weekend.
We did, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And tell us all the details. What was your favorite part? What would you say to people about it?
I would say it's life-changing. I went there with the attitude to change him, but in reality, it really changed me.
Oh, I love
and,
that.
We're so thankful for it. But probably the most beneficial part was where we would break apart into the small groups and then have to talk for ourselves and about our feelings. And so that was very helpful to us. We are moving towards reconciling, so that
fantastic.
Is really good, on our part, because we've been in a roller coaster for 20 years.
Wow.
That's
amazing.
So,
Wow.
Yeah,
super
it really
cool,
is.
Lori. So what's happening on the ground with you right now?
Okay, so we're trying to, like I said, move forward with reconciliation, but there are some things that we've both been open about. One of us is wanting an open marriage, and the other one is on the fence about it.
Okay.
There has been affairs in the past on one side, and so my question, I guess, is can a marriage thrive or be okay in an open marriage if both parties are willing? We just don't really know how to move past, this.
Yeah. Can I tell you what I've seen? And can I just shoot straight with you?
Absolutely.
I have been a coach with Marriage Helper for, I was a coach from 2018 up until 2024. And I saw about 30 people a week, probably 10,000 coaching hours, and maybe 2,000 unique clients, something like that. And so I've encountered the open marriage thing kind of a lot, and I have never seen it result in anything good. And I say that without judgment to anybody that wants to have that lifestyle. I mean, it's not for me. It's not in alignment with my morality, but I am not judging on the basis of morality. I'm judging it on the basis of what actually happens when an open marriage occurs. And here's, again, I have to think about things in metaphor. So if I walk into a room and there are two people, to look toward one means I have to look away from the other one. And so there seems to be a point in an open relationship where one person gets more of the connection than the other person does, and that always creates this sort of feedback loop of things now begin to get worse.
Yeah.
And I've never seen it not happen that way.
Yeah.
Now, it's possible that I'm biased because we're just self-selecting for, right? It's possible, but I kind of doubt it. I think the way I'm describing it has to be a universal experience, that you can get it done to a point, but eventually you have to give your affections to one person more than the other person, and that creates emotional distance.
I have to ask a question, Lori. What is the reasoning from whichever party? What is the reasoning behind wanting the open marriage?
I think to keep the excitement going, that, in the workshop we talked about the dopamine and those highs, and, coming off of, I guess, addictions, porn and things like that, one of us just feels like that's needed, to keep our relationship going. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. And that is probably one of the most common reasons that people give when they are exploring, looking for, or thinking about doing an open marriage, having an open marriage. But here's the thing, is that it's, okay, let's talk about dopamine.
Yeah.
Dopamine is a pleasure-seeking chemical in our bodies. It is looking for arousal. Once you have an open marriage, the dopamine kick isn't going to be as high, because now this is the new normal. If you chase the lust in order to keep getting more excitement and energy and all of those things, arousal in your marriage, it will never stop, because there will always be something more that you're going to have to keep chasing. So the real thing that when I hear that, what I'm thinking is the thing that needs to be fixed is the intimacy inside of the marriage. And how much more beautiful is that? Because now you're in a committed relationship together. You know this person is going to be with you and beside you no matter what. And that unlocks the deepest amount of intimacy that anyone can ever have, sexually and non-sexually. So how can we, instead of looking outside of the marriage for the answers of how to fix the intimacy and desire, how do we find that inside of the marriage between the two of you? And we can do that. In fact, Lori, since y'all just came through the workshop, I'm going to make sure that y'all have access to, you should have access to it, but you're going to need to actually go through it. There's something inside of your membership that you probably have since you went through the workshop. It's a course in there. It's called The Spark. And Dr. Joe did that. It is intense. It's long. I think it's 12 weeks long, and it goes through how to have a better sex life together. And there's homework that you do together. There is, I mean, you start talking about your desires, your fantasies, each of your own sexual schemas. This is the first place that you should absolutely start. In fact, when we first launched this course about 10 years ago, it was a dramatic increase. I did a beta test group of couples that went through it, and there was a dramatic increase in satisfaction and frequency of sex from the couples that went through that course. And so I would say start there and go through that entire thing together, because the best thing that you can do is create a marriage to where both of you are fulfilling each other inside of your marriage. And it won't continue that lust temptation that will wreak havoc on your life if you continue to feed that temptation.
Yeah. Can I do an aside thought?
Sure.
I think that in general, our culture has a sexual appetite that is far out of scale with the rest of the appetites that we have. And I can 100% demonstrate this. So let's imagine that we were at a, I don't know, a striptease show. Striptease show getting brought up on the...
This is a great way to start
great way to
this.
start,
Let's
right?
imagine.
Let's imagine we're at a striptease
We are
show.
there
Yeah.
right now.
But instead of a lady up on the stage, there's a chef with one of those big, ridiculous, white chef hats, and he's pushed out a covered dish, and he's sharpening his knives.
I'm already salivating.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And he peeks under the dish for a second, sets it back down, and the audience goes crazy. One guy's got steam coming out of his ears. This guy over here, his tie is just spinning in place, right? And then just before the house lights go down, he pulls the cover off to reveal one of those great big roasted turkey legs like you get from the state park, on the state fair.
Or the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah, the Renaissance Fair. If we saw that happening with food, we would think, what has gone wrong?
That's right.
What has gone wrong?
Sure.
Are people starving to death? No, there's food all over the place. There's food getting pushed on you in the line at the grocery store. Like it's on the covers of magazines. It's everywhere. Why is the sexual appetite so strong that we indulge it up to even the point of just like staring at sex everywhere that you can find it? Why has that occurred? I don't know, but I think it needs to be reined in. I think it needs to be reined in. I think that as a culture and just personally, I think we should probably try to be less stimulated overall. But I think that doesn't mean we should have the absence of stimulation. We should stimulate in a way that's healthy. If you are overeating, perhaps, the idea is not to stop food or to think that food is bad for you, but to have a healthy relationship to food. And so a healthy relationship to sex would involve, I think, one man, one woman in a lifetime
Monogamy.
relationship. Yeah, monogamy in a lifetime
Right.
relationship. Not divorce, not open marriage,
Right.
not pornography use. I think that it shouldn't involve those things.
Right. Yeah. Because when that door opens, not only number one is it hard to close it, but number two,
Yeah.
you're just going to have to keep feeding it more and more to get the same. It's like taking that first hit of cocaine.
Yeah.
You're always chasing that high, and you'll never get it.
Yeah.
But the continual pursuit of it destroys your life
Yeah.
and destroys the relationships around you.
Yeah.
And so the difference, though, is that we don't need cocaine.
Yeah.
And I guess you could technically say we don't need sex, but God created us to be sexual beings inside of our marriages. But even take away like the religious aspect of it, when I was interviewing Dr. Helen Fisher before she passed away, who was the finder, well, she wasn't the finder of limerence, but she was the one who really took all of the work on limerence, why people fall madly in love, all of those things. And when I asked her, what is the secret to having a great relationship? She said, and she's secular, she wasn't a faith-based person. She said, it is a monogamous relationship where two people are fully invested in each other. This, from the secular research, leads to the highest levels of marital satisfaction, intimacy, all of those things. So it truly is the answer.
Yeah, it really is.
All right. Well, I think we exhausted that topic, but it's a really good one, a really important one. With that, Lori mentioned that her and her husband came to our workshop this past weekend, and we have workshops online, we have workshops in person, we have a building right over there next to our office that people come to our workshops, and man, they are life-changing experiences. And so we're going to go to Kristen, who's going to share with us some reviews of what people have said who have just attended one of our workshops. We'll hand it over to you, Kristen.
Hey friends, it's Kristen. I'm the workshop coordinator here at Marriage Helper, and I'm back with a few more of our testimonials from this past weekend's workshop that I'm so excited to share with you. This first individual writes, "This workshop was different than any other marriage therapy counseling we had done previously. The tools shared throughout the workshop you can put into practice on day one." This next attendee writes, "No matter how little hope you have, it's worth the 3 days." This next individual writes, "I came here to change my spouse, but ended up changing me. This workshop gave me hope when I felt hopeless. This workshop made me realize we are all broken and in need of love and grace." And this final attendee writes, "Great workshop, last-ditch effort, and we feel we are finally heading for more hope." Now back to you, Jared and Kimberly.
Oh my gosh, I love Kristen so much, and she is the perfect person to share all of that because she is the one who makes our workshop experience so fantastic for couples, and she does a great job. And she was channeling her inner Dolly Parton today. I just love it so much. Her outfits are fantastic. All right, Jared, who are we going to next?
Let's do George from New York, who's a new member. Hey, George.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, good to talk to you. How can we help you today?
Okay, well, yes, I'm a new member. I have been looking at the videos, so I had to look at them and said, okay, and are they in line with what I believe? Because everybody was telling me, look, she left with the kids, 17 and a 19-year-old. It's going to be 3 years now, and she's been living with them, and then you're like, okay, trying to reach out to her. However, I have done a lot of pulling, so I understand that this just didn't happen overnight, but I have a lot to work on myself. Mm-hmm. So when everyone else was telling me, forget about it, leave her, I said, no, look, I'm a Catholic, I'm married until the end, and I'm not going to give her, I'm not going to give her a divorce if she ever asks for one. Well, now it's been 2 years later. She basically only had communication down to text messaging, and once in a while I would push, so I think I do understand the concept that I should have stopped. And what ended up happening was Mother's Day of last year, my boys called me maybe 2 weeks ago, and they said, look, Dad, we got to let you know. She's been dating a guy, and someone she works with over, and we think maybe they might be having sex. I said, well, stop. You don't even know what she's doing, but okay, yes, you guys are, she's been seeing somebody. Got it, okay. And then I pretty much said to myself, okay, maybe that's why I understand 6 months ago why she filed for divorce. When she did file for divorce, I left the apartment I was leaving, and I moved to an address where nobody could find me, so they can't. Basically, she's getting frustrated because they can't serve me. But yeah, because they can't serve me. So now basically, I was informed by my attorney, who's a good friend anyway. She said, look, you know what? She refiled again, and it's going to lapse in 2 months. So it's going to go on like that instead. It's going to go on like that. So I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to hold my ground. I started listening to the videos. I started hearing the same kind of message. Hold your ground. And I'm like, how did this video ever get into my hands? I'm like, every video, everything I've ever heard is just basically saying, leave her. Yeah. And then I'm saying to myself, and even some Christian websites are saying, just let it go. And I'm saying to myself, no, I'm a Catholic. I'm going to stand my ground. I have also been, a cause in this. I've hurt her. I've done my part. And now I'm going to stand my ground. Why should I only love the Lord when good things happen, and then when bad things happen, well, then, hey, look, if it's not going my way, I'm going to leave.
Right.
And then people are not telling me, what if she's sleeping around with
Okay, so what if she is?
Because she started, right, I'm saying, right. So I said it to my sons. I spoke to my sons, and they said, what if she is sleeping, Dad? And I go, okay, well, I said, well, look, I'm a Catholic, so let me tell you my point of view. Sleeping with someone is betrayal, right? They go,
Yes.
right. Okay, got it. It's adultery. That means I gave my mind first before I gave my body, right? They go, yeah, okay. Well, if that's the case, I have been an idolater. I have lied to the Lord. I have betrayed the Lord. I have done so many messed up things that, believe me, guys, it's way worse than anything your mother's doing. I could tell you that.
I love the
and
transparency and truth. Yeah. So George, are you concerned that our material doesn't align with your values? That's what your first question was.
No, just the opposite.
You love that our material aligns with your values.
Yeah.
Oh, you better believe it. When I started hearing about Lamberents, I said, wait a minute. What is this gentleman talking about Lamberents? Nobody ever talked to me about no Lamberents, but then it hit me. My older brother, Vincent, well, I shouldn't say his name, but anyway, Vinny. Vinny was married to Miriam, the sweetest woman in the world, very quiet, and she had already been traumatized. Unfortunately, she found her dead. Her dad had committed suicide, and so ever since then she said, "Look, I'm just quiet. I don't want problems." Quiet woman. They had two beautiful daughters, and at the time I was a teenager and I was working. I was more responsible than he was. He was he was out there everywhere. And then he started dating and prostitutes and girls to the point that one day she calls crying and says, "There's no food in the fridge." And my mother and I get in the car. We head over there. We find out that he wants to bring the girlfriend to live with them. And I'm like, you are nuts. I said, what kind of craziness is this? But then I remembered, this craziness is what these folks are talking about in Lamberents. Just that nobody ever told me it's called Lamberents. No one. And I said, this kind of craziness, he's acting like a teenager. He's willing to throw the kids under the bus, the wife over the... he's lost his mind. And then when my kids started saying to me, it's like she's a kid in love. She's writing in love letters. She's not even buying food here. She's leaving. She's coming home late at night. And she's like a kid. She's like a teenager in love. And I said to myself, this is Lamberents. This is what she's going through. And so I said to myself, I'm all in. And I became a member. I purchased everything. I said, you know what? I just need the support system because I need help to navigate through this because I'm going to wait. I am going to wait it out. I'm going to do what Christ has done for me, which is how long did it take for me to come out of my loonies, me being a lunatic. Yeah. But yet Christ with his open arms waits for me and is patient. Right? And so
George, I love it, man. I love it. Your story's wild. I love it. And it's for those wondering, it's Limerence, 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 and you can look that up online. So George, what can we help you do?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here, man. What can we help you do?
Oh, okay. Okay, so I have sent her some videos on Lamberents. Was that a smart thing to do? Second thing is she's taking it out on the boys that they let me know that she was dating someone. Yeah. And then here's a biggie. A pastor who knows her very well and like knows us both for like over 18, 19 years, reached out to her and basically said, I don't know if I should have done this, but basically said, look, George is heartbroken over this. He understands what's going on now. I'm asking you to please, don't take it out on the kids because they let him know. And if you want a divorce, he wants a letter from you stating that there is infidelity on your part so that he can start the annulment process with the Catholic Church. Now, she used to be a Catholic. Sure. She goes to a Protestant church. Her pastors are confronting her with this. And the kids are like, hey, look, Mom, you're reading your Bible every day. You're even bringing people, you're even evangelizing people to come to church with us. and we don't get this. It looks like it's kind of
Yeah,
hypocritical.
not living
So-
according to her value
so now-
system. Yeah. Well, George,
right.
let me
So the kids. So that's the issue.
let me answer your questions, George. Should you tell her about limerence? Generally, no. Unless she's actually curious about the thing that she's experiencing and wants to find out more information about it. Giving her the information piecemeal, like sending her videos and stuff, even if you send her our videos, it can come across to her like you don't have real emotions. You just have like this chemical thing that's happening to you, and it's temporary and it's fake and stuff like that. That's what people can take away from it, which actually galvanizes her against the idea of it. So it's better generally if you leave the teaching up to us rather than trying to educate her about it. And then the second question you asked is, what about her taking it out on the children? Your kids are old enough that they're kind of they're responsible for their relationship with their mom. I don't know if that relationship involves maybe a lot of control. The situation that you described and some of the decisions that you made, I have a suspicion that there may be some control happening in your marriage. I don't know that for sure, my friend George, but it's possible. Just make sure that nobody is controlling anybody else.
For sure.
And so the kids, I'm super angry at you kids because you shouldn't have told your dad, and it's up to the kids because they're old enough to say, Mom, I understand you're upset. However, we did what we thought was right, and we're not sorry. We're sorry that you're hurt, but we still think we made the right decision. There has to be some boundaries in that relationship so that we respect each other and stuff like that. And then you asked a third question, but I don't think we're going to be able to cover it because I think it's too deep of a topic. So, and I also don't 100% remember what it was. It was a very long question about morals and how your wife is, being a hypocrite and stuff like that.
I think that is actually a really great segue, though, Jared, into how can someone who says that they're a Christian also want out of their marriage?
Yeah.
And I think that you have a personal story.
Well, I do, yeah. I'm a Christian, and yet at one point I was the spouse who wanted out of my marriage. So one of the rules I have is that when we're speaking in public like this, like I don't ever say anything negative about my wife, so I can't tell that side of the story, but I can tell you what I felt. And it was in direct conflict with what my belief and value system was. But here's what I think. I think our emotional wounds run deeper than our religious convictions do. So for me, I was feeling very lonely and depressed and maybe the word unfulfilled. Just feeling like, is this all that life has to offer me and stuff like that? Just looking for sort of the next thing. And I had been through a few rounds of that in my past, and none of that stuff had anything to do with Jen necessarily, my wife Jen. It had to do with how I was processing, our relationship and my own life and stuff like that. So they were very internal problems that I was having. But my idea was I was just going to leave my keys on the pastor's desk and just not go back to church anymore. Like that's how I was going to exit my marriage, just go somewhere where nobody could see me, get out of church, and then do the divorce, and then like try to rebuild afterwards once once God's not looking anymore, kind of like that.
Right. When you can hide from him.
Yeah, when I can hide from him. Yeah. So the thing that solved it for me was I took a risk, and I took a risk because of Marriage Helper. We had a night where I kind of looked up, divorce how to, on Google, and I found a Marriage Helper article instead of what I was actually looking for. And I started learning about smart contact and things like that, and being vulnerable and such like. And when I went to a adult Bible study, of which I was the teacher, I went and I didn't have anything prepared that night. And for some reason that night, only just a handful of people showed up, just like 2 or 3 of the older parishioners. And I just said, I don't really have anything to teach you guys tonight because I've really been having a hard time. And I shared a brick
Wow.
I shared a brick. I took a risk and I shared a brick. It was hard for me to do because the way I grew up, particularly if you have problems, that makes Jesus look bad. So you're not allowed to have those. And so I took a risk. And you know what? I got acceptance back.
Wow.
I got acceptance back, which was wonderful. So the feeling of being able to be vulnerable and seen for who I really am and what I'm actually struggling with, and to be not told that it was the right thing to do, but told that I can understand how you would feel that way, to be accepted without judgment, that changed a lot for me.
Yeah.
It changed a lot for me, and I started to do it more and more and more. But the first place that ever happened was on the Facebook, on the Marriage Helper Facebook page. I got on and I looked around at all the people, and they were all on the other side trying to save their marriage. And I thought, oh, I don't know if this is where I belong. And I said, hey, everybody, here's how I'm feeling. And everybody was just like, hey, Jared, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We're so glad that you felt safe enough to come and talk to us about your situation. I only got acceptance. It was fantastic. And that set the ball rolling. So, so in a situation like George is describing, acceptance is going to be the key for that wife.
You finally had a safe place where you could talk about your marriage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
And it made all the difference.
It really did. Yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm. Well, Jared and Jen are two amazing members of our team, and Jared's been around forever and a product of fighting. Actually, he wasn't fighting for his marriage. He was fighting to try and leave his marriage, but he ended up figuring out how to make it work. So you can too. Mm-hmm. You can too. Now, you might be thinking, I'm not as smart as Jared. I'm not as eloquent as Jared. None of us are. But here's what I can tell you. If Jared can do it, so can you.
Yeah.
And so many people that we have been able to work with, and we just so truly believe that there is always hope. Mm-hmm. That's why we do this. That's why we do the live show. That's why we do our workshops. That's why we exist here at Marriage Helper, because we are passionate. We are dedicated fiercely and fearlessly to saving marriages, and we would love for yours to be one of those. Well, we're wrapping up today's program. We can't wait to see you next week. But hey, y'all, Smart Contact Toolkit. I know we keep talking about it. It's that cast for the broken leg that helps healing to happen. As Jared said, you can get it for $9. That is 94% off of its normal price, and it's going back up on Saturday. So this is your last chance. We'll drop the link in the chat. Be sure that you get that. We'll see you next week.
See you, friends.